Congress moved on this in 2024. It's still legal. Fly with a child under 14, and you should not have to pay extra to sit beside them. That is what Congress told the Department of Transportation to turn into a rule. It did not ban the fee. It ordered a rulemaking. Two different things, and everything that follows lives in the gap between them. The department did its part. The proposal went out that August. The comment window closed in November, then nothing. They put a number on it too. $25 a seat, 4 seats, 2 directions. $200 to sit with your own children. Their own ceiling figure, written into a proposal nobody ever finished. This May, Senator Ed Markey wrote to Transportation Secretary Duffy to ask where it had gone. Some airlines stopped charging anyway. Nobody made them. The government put up a web page showing who charged families and who did not, and that page did what the law never got around to doing. There is no line item called a family seating fee. No airline charges one. The industry says so constantly, and on that narrow point, the industry is right. What exists is a seat selection charge, and it applies to everybody. The man flying alone pays it. The couple pays it. Decline it, and a computer picks your seats at check-in. On a full flight, that computer can put a 2-year-old 3 rows behind her mother, between 2 strangers. Nothing in that is illegal. Nothing in it is even unusual. Corey Wattillo's family found that out in February. Watch it happen. You pick the flight, the seat map opens, and the seats that cost nothing are the ones nobody wanted. One by the toilets. 111 rows forward. The pair together near the front has a price on it. About $10 at United, $15 on a Delta basic ticket, $15 to $30 at Frontier, per seat, each way. None of it is aimed at families, and all of it lands on them hardest because a family buys 4 of everything. 4 seats, 2 directions, and you are back at $200. It is not a fine. It has no name. It is the price of not being separated. On the 12th of February, Corey Wattillo's wife boarded a Southwest flight with their 2 children, 5 years old and 2. They had not paid to choose seats, so the system chose for them. The 2-year-old came up in a row on her own, beside strangers. Southwest said the seating was, in its words, in line with DOT regulations. That is not a dodge. That is accurate, and that is the entire case. Corey had not paid, and he said so himself. When the story traveled, a good share of the internet told him it served him right. They were not gentle about it. Both things are true at once. $25 would have solved it. He should not have needed $25. That is the trap. It is built into a checkout screen that nobody has to defend because no law says they must. So to the docket. Section 516 of the FAA Reauthorization Act, signed into law in May 2024. It gave the department one job: propose a rule so that a child under 14 sits next to the adult they are traveling with at no extra charge. The rule that would have covered Corey Wattillo's 2-year-old, 18 months before she flew. August, the proposal is published on schedule. A real docket number, a real comment window, real people writing in about a seat next to their kid. November, the window closes. Everything a rulemaking needs is now sitting in one file. And then 18 months in which that file does not move. No final rule, no fines, not one enforcement action anywhere for the plainest reason there is. There is nothing yet to enforce. In May, Markey writes to the secretary. The letter is short, and it is not friendly. It asks a department with everything it needs why families are still paying to sit together, which leaves a web page doing the work of a statute. 10 airlines listed on it. 4 now guarantee that a young child sits beside a parent at no charge. 6 do not. Southwest never moved. Neither did Spirit in the years it had left. The two carriers whose passengers were least likely to have $200 spare at checkout. The defense now, and it is better than the headline lets on, there is no family fee. The seat charge is priced for everyone. The consultant in 12C pays it. The couple on a weekend pays it. Calling that anti-family is a headline, not a description. Unbundling genuinely lowered the ticket price. Take the seat, the bag, and the boarding order out of the fare, and the number on the screen falls. That is not a trick played on you. That is the number people click. Airlines take somewhere around $157 billion a year on things that used to be included. It reads like a scandal. Then you look at what the ticket used to cost. And this is the argument that actually bites. A seat beside you is inventory. Guarantee it free to a family, and the airline is holding a row back from whoever would have paid for it. The person who never separates anybody covers that in a fare that quietly rises. The family that pays $25 is at least paying for its own. Margins in this business run about 4 cents on the dollar. Fuel spiked. Fares were already climbing. Even a writer who spends his working life defending airlines called the policy sensible and humane and called the timing wrong. And their best point is the last one. You can already choose. Alaska, American, and Frontier will seat a young child beside a parent for nothing, and JetBlue was reported to have joined them. They still sell seat assignments. They just stop short of charging for that one. 30 seconds on a government page tells you which is which before you book. Corey Wattillo's family flew Southwest, which has never been on that list. The defense holds right up to the last step. Nobody has to believe an airline sat down in a room and decided to split families up to make money. It never needed to decide anything. Price the one thing a parent cannot do without. Hand the assigning to an algorithm. Separation was never the plan. It is the outcome. It has been the known outcome for years, and it is tolerated because ending it costs money and nobody has been made to.
3 defendants tonight: the fee, the unbundled model, and the regulator that was told to act and did not. The airlines argued they should not be made to give away inventory, and on the economics they are right. But nobody asked them to give anything away. Congress asked one department for one rule. Here is my verdict. Congress ordered a rule. The department wrote it. Then a web page that names and shames did more for families in 2 years than the law ever did. Because the law still does not exist.
The gavel lands on the department, not for writing a bad rule, for writing one and then leaving it in a drawer while the thing it was written about carried on, legally, at $25 a seat. And the part that should bother you is which thing worked, not the statute, the attention. An airline that moves because it is being watched can stop moving the moment nobody is looking, and it will not need to change a single policy document to do it.
Yes, the verdict is right. Congress ordered DOT to run a rulemaking not to ban the charge itself, and once DOT proposed the rule and then failed to finish it, the gap was the regulator S. The airlines may be making a hard-edged commercial choice, but they are operating inside the law as it stands. The same soft law substitute shows up in DOT's own airline dashboards and other government comparison sites like nursing home or hospital scorecards. Public shame and consumer steering do some work, but they are not the same as an enforceable consumer right.
The verdict was right to place the Department of Transportation in the dark. Congress ordered a rulemaking, not a ban, and the DOT simply left it unfinished, leaving families unprotected by law. It's troubling when a government's public scoreboard, instead of an actual finalized rule, becomes the de facto consumer protection in an area Congress specifically addressed.
I went looking for the villain here and found a cue. Congress passed the sentence and left the paperwork to somebody else. The department wrote the paperwork and left it. The airlines did what a price does. Nobody in that chain broke a rule because the rule was never finished. What worked instead was embarrassment. Embarrassment is not a policy. It is what we reach for when we have not got one.
The panel is generous, I'm not going to be. A rule that exists on paper and nowhere else is not protection. It is a press release with a docket number. Here is the lesson you can steal. If your customers only get the good outcome while somebody is watching, you do not have a policy, you have weather. And before you book, open flightrights.gov and find the row for your airline. 30 seconds. Right now it is the only enforcement that exists. Think my verdict is wrong? Tell me where in the comments. Court adjourned.